Alright, folks. So I hope this is working the way I expect it to work because there seems to be now I'm using OBS and at the same time I'm connecting to the YouTube interface. So I'm just wondering whether people can see me or whether they can actually get content. So I'm a bit curious at the moment. So let's allow folks to gradually come in. Let me know in the comments, in the live chat, whether you guys can see me before I start, or else I'll be talking to myself. Yeah. So it's the very first stream. So let's just let it kick off a little bit. So anyone who can hear me, I hope the audio is all right. I'm having the setup once again. I haven't been doing live streams. Okay, I see you. Okay, so Dan, can you hear me? That's the most important. And Mr. Pepper, can you hear me? Just making sure that the audio is fine. Okay, wait, give me a second. Let me type. Okay, so this is this is one of the videos that I'm going to be doing in the YouTube channel. I think it's been a while. Let me just clarify a few things why I've stopped doing YouTube content. Firstly, a lot of things have happened on from a family to a personal level that has kind of diverted my attention away from creating content on YouTube. Also, there has been a lot of focus on the private groups. So I think that's a very important aspect of mine, because I feel that it's already been 4 years. Okay, so it's been 4 years in crypto and 3 years with the private group already. This is the third year that I'm with the private group, and I think it's more important to kind of bring folks back to the objective, why we are even in crypto, right? Why did we even create a portfolio in crypto? And why the get rich quick mentality, which is the title of this stream, is not gonna get you anywhere regardless of whichever asset class you're gonna be in. So here's a few things that have led up to me creating this video. Firstly, I have stopped doing videos because I feel that at the end of the day, you want to be interviewing and talking about projects that are showing real life use cases. And yes, there are projects, blockchain projects, crypto games that you can speak about, but my goal is to look at things from a financial standpoint. And if there are no financial reports, right, that are coming out from most of the crypto projects, there's nothing that I can discuss. It becomes like everything is just you're just blatantly putting information out, or you're just trying to create content so that you get views. And everybody knows that my channel is non-ad revenue generating. Okay, I think the whole of 2019 I made a whopping less than $50 for the whole channel. So it just goes to show that I don't give a shit about ad revenue. I don't give a shit about what people think about whether I create content or not. I'm really here just to service the ones who are looking at building an asset class within the space. And when you watch other folks' contents, and especially I've been watching a lot of folks within crypto and outside of crypto. And I realize within crypto, it's always the same repetitive things. What's BTC doing? Where's Ethereum headed? What's the price prediction? Why BTC is going to go to $50,000, $200,000 in the next 4 or 5 years? It's so clickbait. that I realized that if I continue to just put out content just to be present, to so-called be an influencer, which I have never considered myself to be an influencer, it becomes very tiresome. So I just want to put that out there, just for the record, that I really don't care. I started the channel because I felt that, look, I might be of value to this space, given for the fact that I was from the financial industry, the sector. I was helping folks on the wealth banking level to help them create a portfolio, to look at their financial objectives, their goals, help them to fulfill certain things, help them to service them if they needed a loan facility, so on and so forth, right? All these things are and it's an actual experience that I feel would have helped. That's why I created the channel. I never expected that I would reach to the subscriber level that I was at. I never expected that people would even care to even watch. But I just feel that there has to be an avenue to express yourself. And since I've never done any kind of videos before or any kind of content before online, right? And I'm actually a very reserved person. I hardly post anything in Facebook or in Instagram. I in fact, none of these things actually are considered existent. So YouTube was a way for me to kind of communicate that, and I kind of wanted to see how that would actually I don't know, how would people react? How would people react? And the initial response was really good, because at that time there was such a lack of actual viable professional, at least from a professional, information. Nowadays, of course, there's tons, right? There's tons. So I don't have to be that voice anymore, because there's just so much to choose from. And yes, of course, you have to respect the people who have followed you, subscribed to your channel, so on and so forth. Taken the time out of their day to watch you. Watch my rambles, watch my cursings. I just want to say thank you. For those years and those followships. I really appreciate that. And of course, the trolls. The trolls who always watch a little bit, the first 30 seconds of my content, and because they didn't get what they want in that first 1 minute, and then they'll comment, oh, it took you 30 minutes to send a 1 minute to say a 1 minute sentence. Good job, thank you for wasting my 30 minutes. You see, those folks are the kind that will usually never get rich, because they don't even want to spend the time to listen and understand the build up towards the content. And that's totally fine. And that's the 90. In fact, a lot of folks are like that. And it doesn't matter where you're from, people always have that kind of poor mindset, that self-entitlement. So that's something that I want to address, and why I kind of stop, because I don't feel that I should succumb to such attacks. And it's not a lot, by the way, don't worry. I don't get a lot. I don't get hate mail or anything. I'm not that popular anymore, so it's okay. But yes, I am wanting to focus more on the private group, as always. I always want to focus more on my private clients, and at the same time, I'm really always focusing on building my own portfolio. So now, let's get to the topic. Thank you so much. That was a nice, good, probably a good 13 minutes, okay, of an introduction. Now let's get into the main body of it. I always enjoy long form content, guys. If you really don't know me, I enjoy long form content because, as I said, I'm a reserved person. So the only time that you really get to talk to me would probably be through these videos, and I usually do it live stream. So if you happen to catch me and you're available, you have some time, grab a cup of coffee, put up some content, put up the chat, put your stuff on the chat. So okay, there's a bit lag, but I can hear. Okay, wow. Okay, visually you're still lagging behind the audio. Okay, good to see you again. Okay, wow. 7. So there's a bit of a lag, eh? Okay, I put in normal latency. I don't think I can change the latency anymore. I should have probably put low latency or ultra low latency. But guys, I like I said, because you're doing live stream, so it depends, and it depends on whether you're on data or on Wi-Fi. So I hope that those who are watching me on data, you have an unlimited plan. Those who are watching on Wi-Fi, obviously, just sit back, relax, and let's have a good talk. So I think the mentality of folks, right? Let me just talk about myself first, okay? As a younger individual, in my 20s, I've always wanted to get rich quick. It's very normal. In fact, there are people until this day who are much older, who are always thinking of the easiest and fastest ways to get rich. But reality sinks in and they hold on to that hope that they will one day, hit it big by, going to the casino, buying the lottery. You all call it lottery. In Singapore, we call it Toto, buying big sweep, basically lottery related stuff. And the truth of the matter is that obviously these organizations will always be the richest, right? They will always be pooling funds, and you don't even know who are the actual winners most of the time, because most of the time the winners are censored. Now, obviously in other countries, the winners are, put out in public, which also poses as a risk, because right now everybody knows this person is an individual, right? And suddenly they start getting approached on various things. It's like, when a carcass dies in the desert, after a while, once it starts rotting, right, you have, or at least when it initially dies, you have the hyenas, the vultures, and then after that, everything else starts coming. It's quite sad. And if an individual is not savvy enough, meaning that they've never attained or had the opportunity to hold that kind of sum of money, where it be high 6 figures, 7 figures, so on and so forth, or, they suddenly become a multi-millionaire overnight. They don't have that experience managing that money. So recently, Tizen kind of came out with an episode. So Tizen is the co-founder with Leon Fu, right? Who mentioned how many people actually know how to make a $1 million decision, or $100,000 decision, or even a $10 decision, right? Each kind of decision that is fine or based on a certain sum, right, will have a kind of emotional response. For example, if you were to be in crypto and you have never bought crypto before, right, or if you never bought stocks before or a property before, usually the property is one of your very first largest big ticket transactions. It can be very nerve-wracking because it's not cheap, right? You need to go and find the right home. From there, you are connected to the broker, and then from then the broker will take you around, try to sell you the homes, sell you your dream home, and then from then you go and get a loan, right? And then you speak to the banker to get your financing, so on and so forth. All this paperwork. Most of the time, right, they will scheme through it, and of course the ones who are a little bit more patient, like myself back in the day, will tell you the risks involved, in the event that, perhaps maybe the valuation of your home, what happens if the valuation of your home drops, what will happen, your debt servicing ratio, how are you going to make your payments, all these things are usually, not covered, because you are in that mood that you're going to take that next step. You're going to be buying something that you and your wife or your significant other, or your wife, husband, family, your, significant other, partner, and it's a big thing. So that's your biggest ticket item. I wouldn't say a car is a very significant item. In fact, it's usually a depreciating asset unless you're using it to drive around, meet people, create sales. That's value when you buy a car. But let's talk about the home first. So imagine it took you an X amount of time to buy your home, to finally at least have a credit standing that the bank will loan you, to give you a loan so that you can own that home. So finally, once you own that home, you start having the liabilities kick in. It's no longer a rental, right? So rental is I feel that for the folks who are from the US, from Europe, they tend to be always renting, especially at a young age, either as a teenager all the way until they start their early career in their 20s, right? That means while studying, and then but in Singapore it's very rare that we move out from our parents' home, because Singapore is very small. It's not a big state or whatever. It's just an island, right? So you don't have to do that. It's more practical to stay with your parents until and then of course you start working, so on and so forth, until you get married. Then you can consider owning a home. But it's so different, right? Because in the US, in Europe, it's so huge. Your country is just so huge that one state to another state could easily be a day or two away. okay, and obviously sometimes you are in a certain state that doesn't have a particular industry that you want to move upstate, more central to say Washington DC, to Manhattan, New York, or New York, Manhattan, wherever you need to be, right? Silicon Valley, San Francisco. So if you're in the tech space, usually it's there. So stuff like that, right? All these are considerations. So you tend to move out, you start renting. So there's no commitment. I mean, obviously landlords would prefer a 1 to 2 year commitment from you, but I think most cases they are kind of flexible because the current market is really very soft. So I think it's easy for you to find cheaper rental, not as expensive as it used to be. Now, this is of course dependent on state to state. I'm not saying that it applies to everywhere, but right now in Singapore in particular, there's just too many units, right? So there's too many housing units. There's just so much opportunity. There's so much. It's a buyer's market at the moment. It's not a seller's market. Okay. So anyway, just back to it. So right now you are in that stage. Let's say for example you're in that stage. You're able to finally own that property. Now you have the liabilities, and your job, right, can only sustain you. Your income from your job can only sustain you that much. As you grow older, you tend to want more things, right? You want to have a nicer home. You want to start traveling more often. You want to start a family, and your kids obviously are going to be financially demanding as well as they go through various types of education, so on and so forth. You come to that stage where, I'm sorry I skipped the early adolescent youngster years, because I feel that those are the years that are the best times to take the most risks, start learning, and then when you come into your mid-20s to your 30s, right, that's the part where you still really have to start getting serious already, because I understand my demographic, right, is within that range, mid-30s, right? So mid-30s to 40s are kind of like the top peak of my range. So I kind of like want to have content that is more structured around this age group, because it's okay to mess up in the early part, right? But if you don't tidy up your finances early enough, and you don't really know what you want to spend on, at least and in your 30s, right, that's when you start realizing that you're going to be quite broke for most of your life. And that's really much how I lived my life. That's why I can be very firm about how I can just relate this over and over again. It wouldn't even come out unnaturally because I lived that life. And being being in Singapore, right, we are very status conscious, okay? And I think in any first world country, you are status conscious. Everyone is status conscious. Nobody likes to look like a piece of shit. No one likes to look like a dirtbag. And there are folks who do it intentionally, but those are the ones who are always they love messing around with folks, and those are the most well-to-do. And I find it very, very fun. But yeah, that being said, you want more things in life, okay? So as you grow, as you mature, you're looking for opportunities. So opportunities can come in various ways, okay? So you're working, you have one income source. This income source is going to be more or less with you for a good number of years. And if you do well in your career, obviously you have that potential to have a pay increase, so on and so forth. Now, it depends on your industry. Right now, I think most industries are kind of struggling and slugging along as the economy is slowing down. And more often than not, sometimes you may be on the fence in terms of whether you want to jump to another job, or if you're a little bit older, you want to hold on to your job. But you know what, there's always that worry of getting retrenched, and that is the cold hard truth that a lot of people don't want to face. And what happens then, if those things happen and you decide to say jump to another company, and the grass isn't as green, you didn't get the pay jump that you wanted, or you basically got retrenched recently, and now you have all these liabilities that line up because you didn't pay down your mortgage fast enough. You still have 1 or 2 cars running on a car loan. You kind of spend too much on lifestyle related stuff or luxury items that you didn't really need, frivolous stuff, and all this chalked up in your credit card, and you are still paying installment. What do? So all these things, right, kind of hit home. Obviously, not everyone gets an opportunity to watch this channel. Not everyone even knows the channel exists. But if you look hard enough, right, there is always content out there that kind of helps you to structure all this. So I'm kind of like wanting to come across as either preventive or at least help you to find a solution. Because what happened to me was very different. I was someone who enjoyed spending money on luxury items, right? And I also wanted to always get rich quick. But there were very little opportunities for me to do that. Because firstly, I wasn't always exposed to the financial side of things, okay? I only went into finance when I hit my slightly mid, so I was 27 when I joined banking, okay? So that's when I started to get exposed to trading, stocks, forex, good and bad influences, And you do a little bit of dumb stuff, you do a little bit of leveraging here, contra trading there, and this is the part where you start to kind of start to connect already, because it's happening in the crypto space. You see, exchanges are there to make money, okay? They provide you that avenue where there is leverage. And when there's leverage, it means that, wow, my $100 can turn into $500. And on other sites that don't give a shit about whether or not they wipe out the whole account of an individual, it can go up to 100 times. So yes, there will be young and cocky, testosterone-driven males, right, who want to make it big, and being a young, egotistical individual when I was young as well, I always wanted to prove everyone wrong. I just wanted to make the money fast so that I can flash it all or even spend it all. So what happens then? Okay, so what happens then? You go and start finding these opportunities. You start, mixing with folks that will tell you that they can make interest on a daily basis, just sitting at home in front of their computer, not needing to do anything. They just easily make money. Money just drops on their lap, like as if, it was... At least they had, as if they had a golden goose, okay? So that's kind of like the pitch, and you've been broke for some time. You are like working 2 jobs, still trying to pay off that student loan, or you're frustrated. You're trying to pay down that mortgage. You haven't gone on a holiday in a long time. You've never sat on an aeroplane, right? So yeah, you start getting adventurous, right? Because you may not be exposed, you may not be looking for information that helps you to be financially savvy, because most of the content that is based around financial education is tentatively very long, right? It's usually long form, and if you don't have the net worth, which is kind of a weird conundrum. If you don't have the net worth, most of the bankers don't even serve you. Okay, that's the truth. You go to the bank, and if you have less than $1,000 in your bank account, or less than $10,000 in your bank account, there's no designated financial advisor. And recently, I had a conversation with a friend who is just basically successful in the network marketing arena. So he was kind of asking me, why is it that we are having that mindset or that thinking of how financial advisors are teaching us, doing segregated portfolios, diversifying your wealth across various asset classes. And when you kind of look at it, it kind of dawned on me, and that is true, because I was taught that way, but I didn't have the kind of wealth that I have now when I was a 27-year-old back in banking. I had practically just knowledge, not actual experience to even advise my clients. And yes, I was able to provide financial advice because I was licensed to do so. But did I have my own home? No, I did not. I was staying with my parents. Did I have a $50,000 or $100,000 portfolio? No, I did not. I did not have any of all these things. I only had the theory. Okay? Now when I have all those things, and I kind of look back, I'm like thinking, okay, that was actually very dangerous on a lot of levels, you see. Because these youngsters, I mean, it's okay to be young, guys. I'm not smashing you if you're young. I'm not saying that, okay? But it's very interesting that these folks who have that wealth, we're talking about folks who are in their 40s or 50s, they have, saved up a good part of, cash. They've been able to sell off their homes in a good housing market. They were able to even, they were even able to purchase multiple homes, because at the time it was cheap, right? And when the market peaked, they were able to sell. Now they have all this cash on hand, but they don't know what to do with it. Why? Because the only thing that they were exposed to was only the property market, because it was just most straightforward. It was a tangible item. Now, in the crypto space, you're buying digital tokens. You're buying the promise of what this token could potentially do. Is a token even necessary? And it really blows my mind how the market actually has gradually transitioned, from a crazy bull market in 2017 to a extremely bearish that took everyone out, including companies, teamy investors, so on and so forth, took everyone out. And right now, how many of us are left? Seriously, how many of us are left that it makes it so exciting? Okay, that's what makes it so exciting, because right now, imagine I only have 14, 15 people watching. At the peak, I was having thousands, at least 1,000 people watching the live stream. And the video would easily go to 40, 50K. Now, if it gets 100 views, I'll be more than happy. And that's the truth. And that is how you kind of segregate. You suddenly start to streamline. Because why? The folks that are still here or happen to be here, right, are either curious enough or they have the mental capacity and strength to push through. So anyway, before I digress. So you are looking for all these opportunities, right? And suddenly you start advising, a young individual starts advising a 40-year-old, 50-year-old individual who actually has 5, 6, 7 figures in their bank account. And that young individual is just only trying to sell you something, okay? They're only trying to sell you so that they can make a commission. They are not interested in that individual's actual financial objective, which is usually to prepare for retirement, to look for a sustainable income source. Now, these are things that are very important, and it really boils down to the integrity. So why did I mention, having a wealth advisor? You need to arm yourself first before speaking to someone who is licensed to do so. Because at the end of the day, if you want to have access, sometimes you do need to speak to someone, because maybe your peer group does not have that knowledge, or most of them don't even touch the stock market these days, okay? I can safely say that if you are 30 years old, okay, you're 30 years old this year, not many of your friends have even had the experience or even an account that allows them to buy a brokerage account to buy stocks. And even if they did, right, it would be more of trading. It wouldn't be of investing, because I come from the angle of investing rather than trading. Because it doesn't matter, because you can make money either way, guys. I'm someone I've made money in both ways. I've made money trading, I've made money investing, right? And more often than not, I've always successfully made money investing, because you can be wrong on both sides. Okay, nobody gets 100% of their trades. In fact, majority of the time you get most of your trades wrong, unless you're doing it from unless you're using some kind of a bot. And even bots make mistakes, right? Because the perimeters may sometimes just not fall nicely into the current market scenario, and you get taken out, your stop loss doesn't hit, so on and so forth. I don't want to go into that, but investing has kind of like been my forte. And I feel that wealth, so back to the 40-year-olds and 50-year-old clients, you kind of, when you have that conversation with them, their wealth was built by buying and holding their property. And when you hear them flip, their flip is 3 to 5 years, even 10 years, then they say flip. The youngster flip is like going to buy a new sneaker and you flip it online. That's also cool, because you are a hustler, and everyone to a certain extent is a hustler. If you work 2 jobs while you're studying, you are a hustler. If you are working in the day you're working in the day and then you're driving at night so that you can earn more money, so that you can support your 2 kids and your wife at home, you are a hustler. There's nothing wrong about that. If you're a young startup, you're an entrepreneur, you just graduated or you decided to stop studying to pursue your dream and create something that someone could potentially use, and you feel that it's a good product, it's a good service that you want to provide, and you're working from home, or you're just just at a co-working space, and you still haven't paid your debt from your student loan and whatnot, you still owe your parents a little bit or whatever, you're a hustler as well, because you're trying to make the wealth in the best possible, or you're trying to make yourself significant and up your lifestyle as quickly as possible in the best possible way that you know how, based on your skill sets, your convenience or time, because you only have 24 hours, guys. You only have 24 hours. So wow, okay, this is okay, guys, hold on, let me try to address a few things. This episode is not going to be on quantum again. It's not going to be on NP access or anything like that. So if you want, you can probably stop watching the stream, because it's really not about that, right? If quantum wants to move, it will move. You just watch the development. I have long exited quantum, like back in 2018. I'm no longer in quantum. The fact that you're watching this after, right, that means you still have positions, and you didn't get out in time. So I only can apologize that you were not able to exit when you were supposed to exit. When you made money, you didn't exit. So, and if you're watching this late, I can only apologize that you need to just be a bit more savvy, because this market is just fast. You have to adapt. You can't just sit around and hope for the best. So anyway, back to my topic. So if you were someone who you're hustling, okay, you don't touch any kind of high yield investment program. You don't touch any kind of investable asset, because right now you're trying to stabilize your finances. Okay, so this is the problem that a lot of people don't get. When you're not financially stable and you try to touch the crypto market trying to get rich, it will never happen. The likelihood of that happening is so slim, right now especially, it's so slim that you will probably burn out even before you get there. Because 7% to 30% on $100 is not gonna help you have life-changing finances. Okay, it's not gonna make you suddenly have a Lambo or a 5-bedroom penthouse. It's not gonna happen. You best that you stop dreaming now. And a lot of the content that I've been so pissed off watching, right, that I stopped even watching YouTube, right, it's like that. It's that false hope. It's that feel-good factor. That's why people like to watch all this kind of stuff, because it gives them that feel-good factor. After a hard day's work, I'm just so depressed. I want to watch my favorite YouTuber, and he's a nice guy. He smiles nice, great teeth. Yeah, that typical. It's content, right? It's content, and there's nothing wrong with that psychologically, because you need that. You need that feel. And that's why my content has never been like that. It was never like that. I did experiment a little bit with it to just be nice, but I realized that's not my style, man. It's really never been my style. And it's not that I don't want to be nice. I just feel that being nice has to be very sincere. It has to be. That's why a lot of folks, right, especially in most cultures, it's very hard to be direct. It's very hard to be upfront, direct, and tell you in your face that, look, you shouldn't be doing it, right? But there's also an angle where when you tell someone that you shouldn't do it, and then you're thinking to yourself, have you done it before? Have you been successful in it before? And why are you, killing my dreams? I don't like to kill anybody's dreams. I just like people to build a solid foundation first before they go and attack and try to hunt for their and get their goal. I want them to do that because it's not easy, guys. If it was easy, right, a lot of people are actual millionaires already. When I see Instagram, I just want to laugh, because because I realized cars are just cheap in the US. Cars are damn cheap in Europe. And it's so easy to do. And you're seeing this youngster, less than 18 years old, saying that he's been making millions of dollars, buying all the Rollies and the Audemars Piguets and the Patés, and like, I realize there's a rental service out there that allows you to do all these things. Yeah. So, how do you even validate all this stuff? You can rent a Lambo for less than what? Less than $200? Anybody could do that. So when I think about it, I was like, okay, so this is Instagram. This is like, and you create that false impression that, damn, he's young too. I want to be like that. And in fact, right, there's nothing wrong with that either. Because somehow that influence could start sparking some creativity. But it's also scary because that could actually cause that individual, that young individual, who is still very impressionable, probably had parents who are not very supportive, friends who have, who have always just been ridiculing that individual, him or her, and they just want to prove themselves, especially guys. Guys are really mostly money driven. There are men who are not very money driven, but most guys, the most alpha males, right, are money driven because, firstly, if you have a family, right, you're not the one that bears the kids. You're the one that has to make the money, right? Because bearing kids is a tough job, man, and of course raising kids is a tough job. And at the end of the day, if I cannot make money for my family, right, I feel like shit. I'll be very honest with you. I feel like shit. I'm already pushing 40, whether I'm 50, 60, 100,000 years old, right? I will always feel like that because I'm just a competitive individual. That's just my style, right? And I know that there are a lot of people who are like that as well. So, having a poor mentality, right, or a get-rich-quick mentality is only going to hurt you. And I want to just put this out there for folks who are still watching, who are still patient enough to even reach the 40-minute mark on this video, that no matter how tough your situation is, right, you need to quickly surround yourself with people who are going to help you out. Don't keep wasting time with people, for example, the people who you always drink with every Friday, and they're not value adding to you. I am not saying that you cannot have friends. Don't start getting sensitive and then after that, look, if you are spending most of your time on frivolous things that are not going to help you out in your financial situation that you have now, you are just lying to yourself. And in the end, when you don't reach there financially, don't blame anybody else. That's why a lot of people who watch the YouTube content, especially, I found it very hilarious. They didn't want to do the research. They didn't want to understand their own personal risk profile. They didn't look at their own finances, and when they started putting money into the market, they didn't make money, right? They start finding someone to blame. And when they did make money, they didn't give any thanks to the individual that helped them out. You see how self-centered that is? That's why I realized it was very fun. That 2 years of doing YouTube content helped me to realize a lot of things. That I don't want to do YouTube content. I don't want to be a YouTuber. Because to be honest, I am still very, very much, I prefer private clients. I tried both sides. I tried retail. Retail, I gave it a good shot, right? I gave it a good shot on retail market, but I still prefer private clients because they're just more mature. They understand the risk involved. They are coming in knowing that I'm serious about this space. I want to learn, right? And I have this X amount of money that I need to, I don't mind, putting in. Yes, I understand the risk involved. It's not going to be a get rich quick. And that's how they understand. Whereas when I do a video like this, many impressions are going to come out, many different types of content and comments that may start surfacing. Because why? The young these days, right? And when I say the young, we're talking about 10 years younger than myself. They're always keyboard warriors, right? They tend to have a lot of opinions, but when you speak to them and you look them in the eye and you want to have that conversation with them, they don't have the balls to say exactly what they typed. That is the truth. And that is the thing that's lacking these days, that tenacity. When you look at someone in the eye. That's why when I'm talking, I look at this camera, I feel it's so dumb. Because I'm not having a conversation. I may see live stream here, but I don't have an actual conversation with someone. Yeah, I want to speak to that someone and have that mind share. And that individual is also sharing something with me. So yeah, of course, live stream comments are fun and exciting. It's nice to also, and I realize also that these days there are a lot of ways to start making money. And one way is obviously still through the internet. I just be very frank. Through the internet, it helps you tap into an international audience. But how many people have the balls to put their face? Really put their face, their actual face, and come up? Because you know why? Why am I a keyboard warrior, for example? I'm a keyboard warrior because I'm worried, right? If I have an avatar, it will be nice because I can hide under that guise and speak my mind, you know? And if I say a stupid comment, it doesn't matter because nobody knows how I look like, you see? So there is that aspect that allows you to be pseudo-anonymous, right? Or anonymous. And I can respect some that do that for certain reasons, but majority of the time I don't respect it. Because if you're involved in a space that potentially could involve money, right? Your reputation is everything. It's not about how much money you make. It's about your reputation because you're willing to put yourself out there to be ridiculed, right? And most of the time it's ridiculed. There are some who will give you credit for it, right? And that's usually that's everybody wants that pat on the back, you know? It doesn't have to be money all the time. But sometimes having recognition is something that people do consider as a stepping stone. That, hey, I did something right. You know, you don't want to go to a job, right? That every day your supervisor just picks on you. No student, right, likes to go to school and their teacher or their classmates pick on them for every single thing they comment. The moment they ask a question, it's a stupid question. Hey man, you're damn dumb, bro. You're like, why are you asking that question, man? You look like a dumbass. And that is happening over and over and over again. Nobody likes that. And that is why not many people reach this stage where they put their stuff online and they share their thoughts. They rather do blogging or, you know, just comment on other people's posts. Just be an observer at the site, you know. And it's fine. I think everybody comes to their own and they are special in their own unique way. So anyway, guys, you know, to me, I'm okay to do both. You know, I'm fine to do both. It's just that, like I said, the space is not mature enough yet, and it will never be because there will always be new people watching the content, and young people are always looking for opportunities. So crypto is very it's gonna be around, guys. Okay, I just want to flat out say crypto is gonna be around. It's gonna make many people very, very well to do, very rich, but the time frame will now be longer, definitely more challenging, because people do not know how to identify exactly what token is going to be intrinsically valuable, right? Majority, 99.999% are speculatively going to have value. That's because of market making, so on and so forth. You see, I don't want to repeat this anymore because it's so boring, guys. I'm even okay for anything for what it's worth. Anything that is crypto related, right? Anything that is crypto related, I want to tip my hat off to the ones who are still creating content till today. I don't know what to say because I don't have anything to say on a regular basis enough that it makes it viable for you to sit in front and watch me. You get what I'm saying? I respect you enough that I don't want to clickbait you with a title. You know? You get what I'm saying? That's why this particular title is, you know, don't have a get rich quick mentality. I'm not here to tell you how to get rich with crypto, guys. I did not put that. So if you're watching this, at least the 24 of you who are watching this, I'm glad that you are willing to take that step, and you're willing to move on. And at least maybe after watching this live stream, you know, there are a lot of things to contemplate. And yes, you know, feel free to drop into our community chat, and the community chat it's always there, guys. It's always there. You can click in the link in the description, drop in. You know, you want to chat, and you know what's sad? When people drop in, there's two things. There are two types of people. One, the people who just want to lurk. They don't even have any question. Why? Because they're worried to ask a stupid question. You see, they're worried to ask questions. And I prefer people who ask questions and start, maybe you have a different kind of thinking. Don't be shy. Because if you're not trying to be a troll, you're genuinely asking a question, no one is going to fault you. And I always have, one thing I kind of am a bit upset, because there are folks who always have, it may sound like a stupid question, then they ask the question. You see, so you have already kind of framed it in such a way that it's a stupid question. What you want to do is just ask the question, right? And it doesn't matter. My channel, or at least that particular community channel, right? You don't have to talk about crypto. If you're someone who just stumbled upon an e-games opportunity, right, and you find that, hey, it's up for discussion, then it's fine. But if you're obviously there for the wrong reasons, and this is the HYIP, or the High Yield Investment Program, so what is going on right now, and what will always go on, okay? So for the 20 people who have left the 20 people here, so you will be warned about all this kind of stuff. There will be the High Yield Investment Program so basically it's a BitConnect. If you don't know what is BitConnect, it doesn't matter. You just look at Trevon James, whatever he's selling, that's what he is. That's what he does. It's always people who just don't mind being lazy, clicking on that referral link and just putting in money and seeing what happens. And there are people who kind of get carried away. They start seeing their $100 getting 3% on a daily basis. They put in $10,000, $20,000, and that practically is most of their retirement funds. And the website just closes down overnight, and that's what happens. That's a high yield investment program for you. Yeah, but people always make that mistake. Like I said, no one is influential enough to stop it from happening. There will always be one surfacing every day. It can come from anywhere, guys. It can come from anywhere. It looks always. It may look different. It may always be a pitch. It can be a donation related one where it's to save kids in Somalia or Yemen or something. It can be a donation scam. It can be a love scam. It can be anything, as long as it can play with human emotions. And it's either it taps your greed, it taps your your actual sympathy for someone in need. Everything can be done, guys. That's why I'm just saying it's very hard to explain all these things, because when I start having conversations with people, especially on a one-to-one basis, it's easier. And it's just the way it is. And I just want everyone to just be more cautious. Start finding YouTubers who can give you that. And obviously, hopefully, you also try to do some cross-referencing. Start reading up. Start reading more extensively. Don't read just one particular author. Read a number of biographies. Read about how entrepreneurs became successful, the struggle, the grind, the rags to riches. All these stories may sound very cliche, but they're actually very helpful, especially when you are struggling yourself. Because eventually you may be that person who is going to tell that story one day. And you would be able to kind of be in front of a stage and say, hey, I was once like that hero of mine in that book. And now I'm able to stand on stage and tell everyone else my story. You don't have to stand on stage. I'm just saying, I'm giving a metaphorical stage. And it's that own personal peace that you find, that you want, going forward. You don't want to just year after year not achieve your goals. It's very depressing. And even if your goals are very large, it doesn't mean that you cannot put them there. Just create them, dissect them, and attack it one step at a time. Like I said, guys, your time is one of the most precious resources. It's not money, it's time. And if you spend the time wisely, right, enough, you will be able to reach where you need to be. And this is something, and it doesn't matter whether it's fast or slow, because there are some individuals that can do it really quickly. There are some individuals that take 5 to 10 years before they hit where they need to be. And there are times when you reach that first goal and you fall down really hard. That's the most painful thing, and then people give up. I have people in my group that have given up after 2 or 3 years because somehow the market just took a toll on them, And despite the fact of how much value and a time and attention that you give, people sometimes give up on themselves. And that's the very, very sad truth. You know? When you give up on yourself, a lot of things start happening. You go into depression, you have thoughts of suicide, you start abusing drugs, a lot of all these things, guys. And it's the truth, because it can be very beautiful, but it also can be very, very painful. And especially when you're down, you know, you just feel that firstly you want to kind of, you know, isolate yourself. You don't want to. It's so hard for you to put up a face. You know, it's just so hard to interact with people. You know, because you just don't have that mood, and you start, you know, just moving away. And I know what that feels like, guys. I know exactly what that feels like. And the one support that I've always had, right, was actually my books and my wife. Okay, my books and my wife has always been the sense of strength for me. So and of course this is not about religion, but yes, I am a Christian. So that also has kind of grounded me in a way. You know what I mean? You have to have something to at least hold on to when the wind is blowing really hard, and you know you're losing your home, you're losing your car, things are just not going right for you. You know, you just have to have something to hold on to, because if you don't find that pillar or that string or that rope that you can cling on to, right, you can very easily forget why you were there in the first place. You even forget how much you have progressed, you know, because people tend to not pat themselves on the back. You know, there are people who prefer other people to kind of give them that recognition. That's why influencers, they love the likes. They love lots of engagement on their posts, right? Because that makes them feel special. Like, I did something today, you know? Yeah. But then there are folks who, you know, results driven. They allow the results to do the talking. But unfortunately, maybe they were not as charismatic as a individual who was, always, you know, bootlicking or just doing a lot of different things that are not work related. And then that person also can feel that person can also be crushed, because instead of actually being results driven, the person who just did everything else except the job got the promotion. You see, a lot of crap can happen, guys. I'm just being very, very truthful here. And you have to just experience it. And life is like that. You just have to keep experiencing, keep getting it wrong, keep getting trashed, keep getting smashed. And then eventually, right, you start getting stronger and you start getting up faster. You start being able to dodge, you know? You start being able to dodge. And then you start hitting back. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. Life is just like that, you know? And sometimes you just have to avoid what people think about you. Really, don't give a shit about what people think about you sometimes, because if those people are only there to hurt you, you don't need those people, man. There are people who are always there, who are open to supporting you in your ideas. There are people who are there who think like you. That's why they say like-minded individuals, right? Communities. You can be there's always a community for everything. But just be in the right ones that help you to progress in life. Alright, anyway, guys, I hope I know how to stop this stream. There seems to be a lot of comments. Let me try to clear a little bit of comments. Do you live in a house or an apartment? So, Chris, I live in an apartment. So yeah, that's an apartment. I got wrecked buying Quantum at $10. Okay, that's very, very sad, my friend. Hey Ryan, I'm still here even though I got wrecked. Couldn't be in the group anymore. Ryan, the master of crypto. No man. Look, there's no one who is really a master anymore. Okay, everyone's an entrepreneur. Everyone's a opportunist. Everyone's either an investor, a trader, a speculator. Okay, yeah. You want to see? Look, it's just experience, guys. Okay, and also risk management. If you lost money, my friends, it's okay. Just pick yourself up. You're always gonna be making more money, right? Unless you're telling me you're unemployed, right? Then back to my topic. You you have to find a stable source of income first, right? Crypto cannot give you a stable source of income. Seriously, it can't. All right, so yeah, that being said, you are talking about me and my boss decided that I'm not cut out for the bootlicking. I'm about to go at it on the entrepreneur. Have about 3 projects on the burner at the moment. Awesome, you see. So that's the thing, right? You're moving on. You're doing well. I've gotten to the pack and fallen very hard, but I still have great confidence to succeed. Awesome, good show, man. Crypto Space Media. You see, so hey man, today is a sad day. Liquidated majority of my crypto for closing costs for my first house. Been in the space since 2016. Rest in peace. Mess, my friend. Even if you're selling off your assets today just to cover the cost of your house, and I hope that you're clearing the loan. I mean, I hope you're paying down the principal so that you have less to pay. You know what I'm saying? That's good. You don't have to feel sad. It's just that you have to kind of tidy up because you're setting a priority. Right? And yes, and obviously you probably thought long and hard, and if your crypto assets, unfortunately, like I said, because the given amount of time, sometimes the amount of time, whatever that you invested in, okay, it depends on what you invested in, right? And it didn't turn out within that frame of time, which was what I mentioned. Time horizon is very, very important, right? And the liability caught up with you first, right? So the liability caught up with you first, and now you need to liquidate that particular asset, which in this case is your crypto portfolio. No one's going to fault you, my friend. You can always rebuild because there are opportunities that will continuously happen in the market. But sometimes that particular project that you think is top-notch may not be top-notch. Look at Tron. Look at any crypto, guys. Just look at any crypto. It has fallen 70% again. So it's a market cycle, right? It went up. It really got smashed in 2018. It picked up a little bit in 2019. It got smashed again. Do you see that it's a cycle? You don't have to worry. There's always an opportunity if you are continuously staying connected. That's why I'm saying the mind share is important. Because if you don't stick close enough, you're just, I'm free today, I'll look at crypto. Then it's okay. Then obviously you're too casual already. You shouldn't even touch crypto. Maybe crypto isn't for you because you don't have enough interest when times are tough to stay connected, to start reading and remembering that, hey, people are actually building stuff in blockchain. There's data privacy, about data privacy and social media solution. Social media. You have gaming. You have accounting, database silos. Protecting, decentralizing content. All these things are happening in the blockchain space. People are actually building stuff. It's just that, yes, are you in the right one? You get what I'm saying? Like, are you in the right one? So payment gateways, it just goes on. And sometimes when I do content, I'm also a little bit concerned because that's why I don't even mention any kind of coins anymore. I just don't want to do that. I just don't, because the level of maturity and that binge watching, right? They'll just fast forward. Okay, what does Ryan want to buy? What does Ryan roughly is looking at 20? Okay, I'll buy that. You see? Didn't even bother to watch the build up. Everyone's probably fast forwarding this so that they can quickly get to the main message. So sadly, unfortunately, if you fast forward 4 times, 5 times, you're not going to get anything. Because the whole idea was how to not have a get rich quick mentality, which was at the top of the title. So, yes, okay, so Ryan, what's the average monthly salary in Singapore in dollars? Okay, the average monthly salary, it's between 2,500 to 3,000 depending. Okay, so the white collar industries are paying around there, 2,500 to 3,000. Blue collar slightly below, but yes, depending on your grades and how much your employer likes you, and depending on your industry, it can be plus or minus. Even F&B. These days are getting high 2,000s, and of course, naturally, it depends on what kind of education level you have. So do you say in dollars? Oh, right, in dollars. Okay, so in dollars, it will be about 2 grand, I guess, 2.1 to 2.2 USD, right? So if it's 3 grand, say 3 grand divided by 1.35 at the moment, it will be about, 2.2 USD. Yep. Move out of the house, rent it out, and service the fees, recollateralize, and DCA. You see this guy QJ. You see, he's savvy enough that he start talking about all this kind of stuff. When I knew QJ, or at least when I mean QJ from from the chat, yeah, he didn't have this kind of knowledge, but it was just continuously being exposed. So he's able to kind of at least comment in a very nice way. Yes, you are correct about the life in crypto for the present moment. Yes, Lawrence. Crypto is just one of many possible. Crypto is just one of many possible asset classes, guys. There are people who have made money in Magic the Gathering. Flipping comics, shoes. It can be anything, guys. It really can be anything. I think I've started to look at other things like artworks, right? Antiques. Vintage cars, flipping cars, second hand, first hand, import, export. Anything, man. I mean, whatever that catches your interest. Sometimes you don't have to be like a double degree holder to be making dough, man. Like, seriously, you don't. It's like, look, I don't even have a degree. I don't even have a single degree, as in like I have a diploma, right? But I have experience. Yeah, that's good enough, man. So yes, okay, year 3 for me in crypto, I've fallen 100 times and got up 101. Oh man, Corey N investor, awesome, man. See, this is the kind of comments, right, that even I don't get a kick from this comment. I hope that you guys who are watching gets a kick from this comment. And this is Corey N investor. Yeah, see, year 3 I've fallen 100 times, but I've got up 101. See, guys, this is the kind of awesome stuff that you get to hear. Referrals into 100% platforms is the same as the high investment scam. Yeah, pretty much it. Okay, so anyway, guys, it's already an hour. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I've already taken a lot of time, and thank you for spending this awesome 1 hour just connecting and just seeing you guys again. I think it's seeing you guys. See, that's the thing. I can't really actually see you guys, which is what I hate, right? But hey, you know what? If you're new and you are still in the chat, especially the community chat in the Discord, just say hi, man. I'm still around. Just say it's 2020. I'm still around. Then at least let me know I'm there. I'm actually there, right? I actually comment. You can still talk to me, but maybe you want to see my face, which isn't the nicest face out there. But hey, maybe it's the funniest. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and Happy New Year, and see you, and all the best in 2020.